Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the LanceScurv Show, or rather, another episode of the Mrs. Scurv Show. Unveil her new name, not tonight, with a new website, new social media, and having one of our usual discussions, and we decided to share it publicly. This is not going to be a long show. This is not going to be a long broadcast, but, you know, we felt instead of waiting and pasteurizing it and homogenizing it, yeah, that's why I said, listen, we were driving on the way home. I said, it, hold on to it, and let's just let it all hang out when we get online. We will probably do something tonight or tomorrow, but hang out now before we head out. Mr. Scurv, I want you to talk to us. I want to thank you for giving me all of this wonderful food, and I eat so much of it that I'm still fat. Vegetables and fruits and no meat and no gluten and no soy and no nothing, and I still maintain my weight. So we're doing something good. But anyway, we were speaking about recently, well, last night, the wee hours, like 1 o'clock in the morning, 12:15 a.m., which technically it made it on and this is local, what we're about to speak about, but it's really an issue we want to speak about. Okay, so this is what happened on Pine Hills Road and Claricona Ocoee Road in Pine Hills, Orlando. The story's not so clear because they're still looking for these guys, but a bunch of guys ran up in a Walmart, licked off some shots, money, and got away with it. So talking about it, I know what it is. Pound for pound is worse than Chicago as far as the murders are concerned. And I just want to lay this groundwork before we go into what you were saying, sweetheart, that more people in Chicago, which is going to give you more numbers. But if you take out 100,000 people out of Chicago and go by those numbers and compare it to 100,000 of people here from Orlando, Florida, I think we are number 2 as far as murders in the country last year, and they were number 9. So, you know, you only have a universal city, so they don't things aside. But Pine Hills is a black neighborhood, used to be a white neighborhood. There's vacation going on down in the Paramore area, and they're getting all the blacks out. They just built a soccer stadium, and they're getting them out quick. Next on line is Pine Hills. That's where we are right now. There's crime here, yes. There's crime all over. We got bad heroin, a situation over on the east side, but they don't talk about that. Windermere is over-the-counter prescription drugs. They have an epidemic of that. And lots of people from the affluent sides of town come from their side to come over to the Paramore area or a Ivy Lane or a Pine Hills to cop their drugs and go back where it's safe. See? So parts and let other parts stay. Now there's this big push with the sheriff department to have a task force to clean Pine Hills up. If there's a task force for crime, you better start downtown because there's a lot of foolishness going on down there. That being said, when they reported the story for what happened at the Walmart, they spoke on it briefly, but they brought a little kid on, some young kid who was not aware of what's going on, and they used his footage. And basically he was saying, I'm scared to walk the streets. I'm scared that my brother might go outside and play and get shot down and killed. Come on now. But they want this neighborhood back. They want to start gentrification back in this neighborhood, and they use the media to smear the character and smear the imagery and make everybody believe that it's nothing but criminals over here, so let's get them out. They really want the real estate because it's close to downtown, close to the attractions. They're bigger lot sizes on these houses because these homes basically were built before the mad rush from up north coming down. So if this was they probably put 3 houses on this property otherwise. Or take on that. And Mr. Scurv had a few thoughts and feelings on that. You know, talk to me, sister. You're my wife, but I can call you sister.
Yeah, but when you brought that up about what happened this morning, okay, what I basically said that was never put somebody in the news that they see that have some sense. You know, they always put somebody gonna say some stupidness on the news, because if they put somebody that gonna speak the truth, they're not gonna like it. You know what this person is gonna say.
That's right.
And that brought me to about you know, a lot of things, and people always say that, you know, people come here and they take away their jobs, and you know, they don't get jobs, and they rather to give other people from the outside jobs and all that stuff. But you know, sometimes you hear stuff you really have to, or you say anything negative, because now I really understand where coming from with this and saying all this stuff, because I think, you know, they should really
sit back a little bit. I want to see you on the screen, so you know.
Yeah, I think they should really have a program or something that when you have these people get locked up and get out, they should be able to. And because they can't get a job, we have so much crime, we have so many things going on, and I understand where they are coming from, because you have people that comes here that doesn't have papers and they can find a job, get a job, and these people can't find a job, and a lot of them, the reason why they can't find a job because they may get in trouble, something happen, and they don't want to hire them. And I think it's so wrong, because how you expect to live, what you expect them to do, you know, what you expect them to go out there and rob somebody, rob a bank, do all this crazy stuff, you know? It's really crazy, you know? So there have to be some help for people in order for them not to commit these crimes and stuff like that. Yeah, people will be down on them and saying all these things about them and all that stuff, but you don't understand. You not in their shoes. You don't know what's going on in their life, in their family life, and all this stuff. It's very hard out there. And without you find a job, you know, it's very hard. And I think a lot of people have gave up because they apply for jobs and no one wants to hire them. Nobody called them back. But yet and still you will hire people on the job through temp services that doesn't have papers or whatever, or whichever way you want to hire them. But these people that born here doesn't have a job, and they can't find, a lot of them can't find a job.
And y'all thought I was talkative, right? Okay, go ahead.
No, but it's really hard.
Right.
And I'm born American, but I am an American, because you live here for 30-something years, you are an American, and I've been working for all these years.
But keep the accent,
you know.
Keep the accent.
So you know something. It's really hard for people out there, and I have to say something, because when I think about it, you know, my husband, you know, we were coming from on the street, getting the tires on the cars, rotate and balance and all that stuff, and all change and all that stuff. So we're driving home, both cars, and you know, we were talking on the phone while we're driving home, and when he was talking about the robbery that happened last night,
that's both cars, your car,
you know, that's all right. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We getting around, and that's all that matters.
I know.
So you know, you know, we have to really think when we say negative stuff about other people, because sometimes we jump to this conclusion because somebody, you know, for instance, somebody see me and they knows that I'm not a born American. They don't know my situation either, and I understand that. So I'm not going to get upset with them. But what I'm saying, that we need to be careful what we say, you know, just think through stuff before we because now I really understand, because it hits me, and it hits me real hard when I hear a lot of stuff happening. I see a lot of these guys, and they can't get a job. They have a family. They maybe have a couple of kids. They need somewhere to live too. They need a roof over their head. They need food on their table, just like me, you, and anyone. I'm pretty sure if a lot of them could find a job, you know, they would be able to keep a roof over their head and their family, and they won't get themselves back in trouble. And I think a lot of them that get themselves back in trouble just because they don't know you know, it doesn't matter who you are, because I see white people looking for jobs, can't find a job because they have got in trouble too. But my sisters and my brothers, a lot of them is out there, can't find a job. They don't have a roof over their head. They don't have nowhere to live. They don't have nowhere to lay their head at night. And you know, you in your comfortable bed at night here, you know, and all this stuff. They don't care about you and all that stuff. But I feel for them. I feel for them, because there are people, they have feelings and all this stuff. But, you know, we have to think about other people and not just ourselves. And when we can help, we should help. And we can talk about it and say something about it. But a lot of us don't want to talk about it. But it's time to get up and talk about it. And people, we all have to get together. We all have to get together and start talking about these things, because there are a lot of our brothers and sisters that's out there suffering.
Thanks for Jeffrey, because he said the voice was breaking up a little bit. And we're going to acknowledge everybody in the chat room. We just popped this on like, oh, it's good now? Good. I noticed that the screens had blanked out on this side, and I have to check the bandwidth and all this stuff. You don't see what messes in here. I got wires and stuff all over the place. I was supposed to work in here like weeks ago. Plus, let me show y'all too much information, but this is the reason why you don't see my glasses on my head. So naked without it. I had them down here and I sat on them. So when am I getting my glasses again?
I don't know.
You don't know? Another week or two? Oh man. Unless I go around like this. This look, right? We can do that.
Take it out.
You know? Or just tape it. Just break the other one off and just put some tape on the bad boy. My head's shining. I can see the lines from the skirt behind me on it. It's straight shining. Oh man.
You know, what do you think about all of this? You know,
wow. You know, I'm always full of thoughts, but we're like pieces on the chessboard, and we don't realize it. And it's always somebody else moving us around. And whenever they want to, like, okay, it goes deep. There's a lot of things that are told to me and shared with me that folks don't ask me to share. Supposed to know. And I'm not saying that to make it sound like I know so much. Right? And that ground there is toxic. It's poison. There's a lot of chemicals in the land there. And Black people have lived there for so long. That, you know, if something starts happening with us in our health down there, somebody has to answer, because they're building it up so fast. They have the school down there, another school. I know this might break up because I'm seeing the screen pop out, but they have a fabulous school they're building down there, but it's not for us. When I say we, I don't mean me per se or Mrs. Scurv per se, but Black people. They have torn that neighborhood up. And yes, some of us are to blame for not understood, but we're being moved around. Now we're being moved out. And some people think, well, they're building a school for us. It's not for you. It's not for Black people. It's for, once it's gentrified, it's a beautiful school. They might let you stay there for 2 or 3 years. And 4 gives them power. Being envious over the next person buying a brand new car or having a bigger home or having a bigger position on one of their jobs. You know, and we're going against each other off of the trinkets. Empire. It's funny that they would have a show named Empire, but you know, like they said on the meme, screwed up. We're keeping our guard down by being so caught up in what this system is giving us. And it's sweet. Oh yeah, the decadence is sweet. Ratchet fights. Who need health? Do my weave, but don't put nothing in your head. Our external side of things. Burn. It's like when you poison somebody. You don't poison somebody by dumping a whole lot of poisonous drink and make them drink it and fall out, because now they're going to figure out that it's you who did it. Put a little drop in there every day for 2 years. Half a drop. A little. So and hey, get rid of the tool. Dirty, a dusty, muddy tool that was used to build this beautiful landscape. Yet now that they have it built up, get rid of it. The condition that we find ourselves in is very similar to those Native Americans who are on the reservations. You know, too many of them give them to get the perks of being Native Americans, right? But yeah, see, it might blank out. I'm gonna keep on talking. Is snatched. We have hope. We're living a hopeless life, right? Not me, not her, not many who are here, because we know what's up. But we're living a hopeless life. You don't have money flowing. Money's not your God, but in this world and in this, you need it. So if you cut the jobs, right? And we help to cut our connection to it. It's love not having a record, not having felonies, right? Having a license, having a clean record, and holding on to a job because they look for every excuse to do that. When you on your record, like they saw, right? So it's out of frustration, and I understand because in my life, some frustration also, but I had enough knowledge in my head who I was and what the game was that I wouldn't fall victim. Out there who really have what they need to do, just level. They're paying for it, and we need to have a little sympathy for them. Those who don't now, those who want to keep wallowing in stuff, change and put the knowledge in their head, you know, then hey, they're making that choice. But knowledge is a great game changer. Something you can't unknow it.
About it, what I'm really saying that a lot of them, why they get themselves back in more, find themselves in more problem, is because of the lack of job and unemployment, nothing, no work, no nothing. You understand what I'm saying? It's not like if they could get jobs to do, Lance, they a lot of them would work, but they go and try to get a job and nobody don't want to hire them. You see what I'm saying? So if they could get jobs, it would be better. They can't get jobs, then they find themselves in more trouble. Okay, they get out and they try to find a job. Then they can't find a job, so they go do something else to make some money. They get locked up again. Okay, and the same thing. Okay, so he keep that's the pattern.
This is why like, those of us who on the bus every day, I'm a little different, right? So they kind of hang around you, like they wonder what's going on with you. Like I'm seeing you eat this certain way every day. I see you carry yourself strong and they gravitate toward that because. And I'm speaking to black men, and I'm not knocking the women or throwing the women off because they need jobs too. This is for everybody, but I'm speaking about the men because we possess the biggest threat in the mind of this system. Black masculinity is not accepted. Heterosexual black masculinity is a threat. Us, see, it's like those fruits, so they can cut it and put another type of fruit in there and make a whole new fruit. See, you cut the man out, you have the woman by herself, the state becomes the daddy. See, so now you have the food stamps, the welfare. I'm not saying all of us are on that. We know it's white farmers, right? But for those of us who are in concentrations in the bigger cities, right? The state becomes the daddy, so that a man is useless. And so when our sisters get the job downtown, and I'm preaching to the choir, the distance is from us because that's like, you're not like that white man who's my boss on the job, who drives a Benz, who his wife and him and family go to Europe 2-3 times a year and have they get intoxicated with something else, which is righteous that we should have for ourselves. It's usually us helping somebody build their empire. So we got to reach back to the brothers and sisters who want to change, who want to see something different, but they can only see that if we show them. I'm here. And in Pine Hills, I talk about going with Mrs. Scurv. Just twisting the dreads and lip hanging like, oh, yo, that sound dope, man. I ain't got to pay for the cucumbers. I ain't got to pay for the mangoes. 3 acres over there, and nothing but a bunch of cars, man. Clear it off and let's do this. Go online. You got the smartphone. You have to put those seeds, but they have to see it already happening, and you got to see the value in them. And sometimes all seeds don't grow. You're not going to make all seeds grow. Take a handful of seeds, and it's 100 seeds, and you throw it toward the ground.
At least 10.
Right.
10 grows.
13 or 14 will grow. But see, those 13 or 14 will influence everybody else. It'll keep going and going. You have to put into that because, like I said, the Creator didn't create a ghetto. He didn't make any ghettos.
Right.
When the rain's coming, and it's the rich side of town, and it's the poor side, it didn't say, well, we're only going to stay on the rich side of town.
Where did that come from anyway?
What's that?
Talking about the ghetto, you know, it's always everywhere. It's always a ghetto. Why?
No. There has to be a ghetto. No, I'm telling you, I don't say it has to be, but I'm telling you why it has to be. It has to be because when you have the who are rip off people, right? There has to be a designated ghetto close by. You have a person who owns a hotel or a set of businesses, and he lives in the rich side of town, right? It's the rich side of town because there's a poor side of town. Don't call me a communist. I'm just saying that share the wealth, right? And if you don't, but look, who takes care and raises their babies, right? Where do they go to for pleasure? Who do they look to for pleasure, right? They come out in the hood to get the drugs to go back. They come out in the hood to get our women to perform acts on them before they go back, right? For what's minimum wage now? $7, $8 an hour, whatever it may be. Whatever minimum wage is, that dictates where we live. So when we're on these jobs, getting paid next to nothing while all these millions are being made, and they expect us, oh, we done made millions this week, massa. Like when I worked at Home Depot, they used to have their pep talks. This week, and this is a New York City store, so they made a whole lot more. This week, and it's back in '94 or whatever. This week, we made $2 million. And I only had about 25 cents in my pocket, car sitting up, couldn't run, and had to walk home 2 miles in the ice. And I'm supposed to clap?
What I'm saying.
No, but that's why there must be a designated ghetto plantation close by. Whenever you see an ultra affluent place and you see black people cleaning up, black people pushing carriages, not get jumped when you go into one of their neighborhoods, is either look like a construction dude with the helmet on and some tools hanging by your side, or some cleaning lady. If you walk and you don't fit that description, what are you doing around here? Mm-hmm. That's the way it is. But it must be to keep their system going. If you only make X amount of money, it can only, for let's just make up numbers, an apartment you can only afford for $600, right? That may sound good, but that's $600. I mean, you live with roaches and rats and other folks who, you know, may not be future, right? And it's easy to feel down in that environment where you leave to go to work and there are people sitting around. You leave to go to work and they're sitting on the same stoops looking at you. They watch you go out. The clock goes around. They watch these shows. They talk, drink a little beer, make some babies, smoke some weed, and they watch you when you come back in. And sometimes because of their sense of hopelessness, they'll get envious or they'll either be inspired, because like I always say, envy is the flip side of inspiration. Same thing. If I'm not motivating you or you're not motivating me with what you do, it's of you, whether it's aggressive or passive. And I don't know envy. I know action. I know inspiration. If I see somebody doing something, they might be into planes, right? And flying planes and taking care. I say, man, too, but that's not what I like. What do I like? He's doing what he likes. Let me find what I like. But see, it's hard in the inner cities because we're thinking on the level of survival. And when you're worried about your next plate of food, it's hard to go after your dreams. When you're worried about 2 or 3 days, you're going to get kicked out of your apartment.
Right.
You know, you And I understand it. It's not impossible. But when you're in that environment, you know, how are you going to be clean when you take a shower and jump in somebody else's dirty bath water? So amped up like I'm going to really do this. And then you walk out your door and you see nothing but hopelessness. And then you got to deal with what comes at you, because when you have that spark in your eye, other people around you, because they're not feeling too hopeful, they pull you down, right? Because they really want to live. Can't swim. And they're drowning. They grab your arm and try to pull you in, not really because they want to pull you in, but they see you out of it, and you're the answer. So even when you get hate in your circle, it's really a cry for help. I'm to hate anybody. You all know my work ethic. And then again, you all don't know it. You know what you see here, but she really got me in the yard and doing chores and doing all kind of things. But it keeps the movement. Life is movement. Neighborhoods, and I hate to say hoods, but you know what I mean. No movement next, because when you have that idle time, you start to think up all kind of things. So you got to keep it moving. But
yeah, the thing about it, that other people motivate me too, because if I see you doing things like, okay, you have a home and I pass by and I see your home, the yard is well maintained, everything, it motivates me to do more, you know, because I like to see my garden with my beautiful plants and my herbs and my fruits.
Oh, we know.
And all that stuff.
They know.
Growing.
They saw the pictures.
But it's
Instagram, LanceScurv. You'll see all those plates of food and pictures in the garden.
It really motivates me when I see other people doing stuff. It really inspires me to go and do more, you know. And you think other people in your neighborhood or outside your neighborhood will see that and will try to even do that, because we as Black people, we can have the beautiful neighborhood, because we do good landscaping.
We're people of the sun. We're connected to the earth.
Because when I came here first, I always see mostly Black guys that doing landscaping. Now everybody doing landscaping, and I know we do some beautiful landscaping. So
you can't do it like us when we're on.
Yeah, when we on it, we on it. You
That's
know,
right.
and some of these Black guys, when they do your yard, oh my God, it's beautiful.
Right. The plants love the melanin.
Yeah, so I know that if we all, you know, just come together and do the right thing, in her neighborhood we would have the most beautiful homes. And it's the thing about it, the house, I always say, it doesn't have to be a mansion. It could be a little, whatever you want to call it, you know, and you put some paint on that wall and the yard is well manicured. That's right. My God. You're driving down the street and you have to keep looking because it's so beautiful. And if we all would do that, oh my God, they don't have nothing else to say more than drive down our neighborhood and try to have an accident because they can't believe it. And that's what we should do. You know,
that's why it's not even a brag thing. And the oppressors, people come through the neighborhood and they see me cutting the grass. They come through the next week and the next week, and they realize this guy lives here. You know what I mean? And look how he's keeping us. It's a pride thing. It's like back in the day growing up, right? Teenage years, 20s, but say the teen years. Out. You made sure, and I mean out like on a Saturday evening, not even with a woman, but just a bunch of fellas, or you're going out with as a good group, you represented. Your car, the rims, the pride was shining. The car was shining. Your hair is done. You're rocking your Gomez Adams just right. That's the inside joke, right? No, but you see when I'm in there doing my thing. No, but it's pride. I like when my head is not all fuzzy and scruffy and I try to smell good. It's a pride thing. So when you step in, you have that presence because it's a reflection on how you feel about yourself. And when you feel good about yourself, don't let nobody tell you, oh, you're just arrogant. Oh, you're narcissistic. No, you tell them, I'm made by the best. The creator, I don't know about the creator that made you, but the one that made me and he fashioned me in his image, not no white Jesus image, his image, right? Go for that. So all these low self-esteem running around here, people who are sucking up on a TV tube and sucking in all these things and images that's making them feel bad about themselves.
because you know what, God has made us beautiful. And you know what, when you wake up in the morning, you look in the mirror. Let me tell you something. Sometimes you wake up in the morning, you look so fresh and nice because you get a good night rest and you feel beautiful.
I wake up late.
Inside and out. And no, it's a beautiful thing to wake up in the morning and look in the mirror and I look at myself and I know I'm beautiful. I don't care what nobody say, but I am beautiful. And I know God has made me beautiful. And me, I don't need to put on, take off, or whatever. That's how He wants me.
Take off.
You know, so you know, you should feel special about yourself. It doesn't matter what nobody say. You always need to feel special about yourself. Just look at yourself. Look in the mirror in the morning when you wake up and say, "I'm beautiful. Thank you, God, for making me so special." You know, and
there's nobody like you in this world.
You just have to look.
Never been in the space you occupy. Only you occupy that space. So your perspective is not only unique. You know, we got to understand that we are valuable. Why do we feel we have to walk around and no, I'm not this, and one day I want to hit the lotto, and maybe one day maybe nothing. God put you here. Abundance, and it's not just abundance in money. I'm not trying to be some prosperity preacher, because you know how I close your ears. You know how I hate them bastards. I hate them. Need money, but the prosperity of your talent shared, your abilities. We have strong spirits, right? And we need to share that in our community. My spirit is beyond my physical body. I'm here, but my spirit takes up this whole block. Right. When I walk down the street, even before I get there, and this is what you got to think, what's going on? Like the animals before the earthquake, they start feeling your strength, and you never apologize for that. Through meditation, taking good care of yourself, and you can read these oppressors' minds, and they will be afraid of you. Because right now, I've been reading some stuff there. That book I've been reading by Brother Cosmo. You know Brother Cosmo, right? I'm not sure if it's the second or third. I have 2 of his books, and his mother's going to send me more, but I didn't want to really bug her. And I have to admit that I skimmed through it before, but this past week, I've been looking into it deeper and deeper and deeper. And let me tell you something. Out there that he shot the 3 police officers and they had to shoot him. I really don't even know about that. Right now, I don't even know what went down. We got a lot of computer generated stuff. I'm going to say it. That if you read that book, which I'm going to start reading, like on every show I do, I'm going to read a page. Drop a seed, drop a seed. I'm not going to try to read the whole book one time, right? You read what's in that book, you'll understand why they had to kill him. You don't go from right away. Yes, he probably had PTSD. I understand it. Yes, he might have been on medication, but would be a medication type of guy, like his mother said. You know what I mean? But if you read that book, and I don't vouch for just anybody, you read that book on how he broke how the food fits with our existence, and how that, man, that's why when we were going down to when he called, conversation, you might not remember it, but that time we went down to Fort Myers, we were driving down here. Last April, last April. And then May we did the interview. June, July, that's when it happened. And that's when he passed away. So that's why me being here on this level, I have to talk about that, because he exposed, not exposing conspiracies, but he exposed things that inside of you, like, what the heck? We already know the thing about religion, man-made religion, but you really look at it like, and I got to get in that book even more. I'm telling you, I'm very excited. It's been sitting there for a while. I've been so busy. Understand why that man couldn't live as a Black alpha male who was connected with himself, went all through the different countries in Africa after he got out of the Marines to speak to people that were on a higher level of self, brought that information back and broke it down. That was one of the most beautiful, powerful conversations that we had while you were sitting next to me while I was driving down to Fort Myers, and I'll never forget it. And I wish I could have recorded that. The show we did paled in comparison to that conversation that we had.
And these young guys, they go through a lot when they go into the military anyway. And
hold on, CIA, brother, CIA.
I really think that they have done something to them, because my son was in there for almost 10 years and he is battling a disease called myasthenia. And I'm telling you, I think that because in her family, there's no trace and nothing like that. And I think that's some kind of vaccine or whatever they do to them and mess them up. And now, going through all the stress and all the things. I understand as a mother, because I was sitting up in Jacksonville last year in the doctor's office when I have to drive him out there because he can't use his hands and his legs, they get weak, and he don't have strength in his hands. His muscles get really weak and
stuff is real out here.
And I'm sitting right there in the doctor's office, and the doctor is telling my son that he can't help him and all that stuff. Let me tell you something. This is not something that's like a joke or whatever, and people can say whatever they want to say and all this stuff, but I do believe in my heart that they did something to them, and I believe it's something that they did to my son, like vaccine or something that messes up my son right now, and why he's all messed up now. My son shouldn't be in this position right now, and I understand the stress of what a lot of these guys, and as for me, I like to listen to NPR news and stuff like that, and I've been listening to a lot of these guys that came out of the Marine. This white guy was saying all the stress that he was going through. And because of all of that stress and the sickness that he's going through.
Myasthenia gravis. I just dropped it in the room. Let me just say also to everybody, I'm going to drop the title of that book.
It's saying all the things that he's going through messed up his marriage because he was unstable, around his family. He couldn't live in the house with his wife and kids, and he couldn't stay around none of his family. He was actually homeless and all this stuff, and I like to listen to all these stories. I don't like to listen to stupid, crazy stuff that's going on that is not going to do anything for me anyway. So I understand with a lot of these guys that's going through a lot of stress, and a lot of times we see a lot of these guys that's homeless and so much stuff is going on, and because this is something that I witnessed. My husband had to help me to pick up my son when he fell, and he's a big guy. He's like 6 feet, whatever, and he fell. He couldn't help himself because his muscles got weak, his legs got weak. He
got really bad.
Stand up. He couldn't bathe himself.
It got really bad.
Yeah. Eyes and feet. Even the doctor, the male clinic up in Jacksonville, and I see him there crying, and I feel like breaking down, but God has gave me the strength, and that's why you have to put God first, because he gave me the strength to hold up, so I didn't break down.
And that upset me seeing you stressed. You know what I mean? I mean, it stressed me that in him that we first connected, man, the body he had. And then to see it come like that, and he's much younger than I am. I mean, sometimes, you might break out crying. This is real. So, I mean, it's not like I'm telling on you. You love your son, you love your children, you love your family, you love your people. But yet and still, he might be at the hospital and you're connected because you want to go there and just even sit by his side, but you got to go to work.
Right.
People don't think about these things where you have going through something, but you still have to have the strength to get up and go to work and function.
Right.
It's like when and spoke to my mother and went back to work when I was working at Home Depot. As soon as I got there, I got the call that she had the stroke. The place didn't know what was going on, and that's why I wanted to kill that manager when I had the 2 weeks off. He says, "Oh, you're lucky. You got 2 weeks off." I'm like, "Lucky that my mother died?"
That you want to wring his neck?
No, for real. It was. Me over that because I was trying to get to him. They won't hold me back, and I was crying. I'm like, "Are you crazy?" I put the fear of God. He took a week off after that. Get him.
No, but you know what? I don't understand, and a lot of us don't really understand, because when I went to California, when my son had the first surgery, and I see this young black guy black, young guy. He's probably a little younger than my son.
Come over here where we can see you. You're sinking down like you're in a sinkhole or something.
Yeah, probably younger than my son. And at the same time when my son was having surgery, and no one was there with him. You understand what I'm saying? So they need support. Some of these guys don't have their family there. There should be a way for somebody to be there with them to help support them, that they feel like they wanted. They go away because sometimes they go in the military because they don't have the support or they don't have the help, and that's the only
Nicole
way
said you should write a book.
Whatever. And it's really hard for them. And I feel so bad. I feel so bad for this young man. And even then, when my husband didn't get to go to California when
I'm scared to go.
Surgery.
Earthquakes.
My brother went with me at the time.
But I would go.
He had a neck surgery in Tampa, and my husband was there with us. They put us up in a nice place and everything. And it's a really hard thing because I'm there to support him. Last year, again, he was in the hospital taking treatment again because it's really hard. They have to take his blood out and all that stuff. And this time, next week, he'll be back in the hospital again. And that's not an easy thing to deal with. And I know a lot of family out there is going through a lot with their family, whether it's their husband, their wife, their sons, a daughter, brother, sister, whatever. But it's not an easy thing for these guys that's in the military. So you know what? We need to pray for them. And just pray for these family because they need. I'm telling you, they need it. And even if you have your family in there, and if you are sending stuff overseas for them, make sure you send that all of them get stuff of it, because that's what I usually do. When my son was there overseas, he been in Iraq many times and different places,
years, right?
Japan, different places, Australia. But and I use stuff.
Right. And understand, I guys in the military, he's up top, they can kiss my yellow behind. What they were doing was righteous. They have, and I see the whole scope, and I spoke, I'm not going to put his name out there because he's shy, but I spoke with your son about all of those things. And at first he didn't really understand, but now as time goes on, he understands a lot more from the other side because he went into the military straight out of high school. And so that's all he knew. And so when he came out, it was like, I was kind of radical to him, like, wait a second. But I said, no, it's not you, a certain spirit, a certain heart, but you didn't know. You didn't know, so that's why I'm clear on that. I support these guys because I'm out here in the street. I see them homeless. I see them out of their minds sometimes. They can't help that. I see them addicted to drugs because a lot of times they did that out there because of what they had to go through. I know that from the guys who came back from Vietnam that are a little older than me, and I got a chance to sit down and talk with a lot of these guys. And what they had to go through, I'll probably have to be a high out of my mind too. He shot up and things. First of all, I don't like things flying over me. I freak out at the airport. When I go on a plane, I got to go in that little tube because I can't go toward a plane that big and walk. And then, I'm like, oh no. And it flies. No, man, that freaks me out.
You were so scared when we were going to New York. I didn't even know that.
You didn't know that I was scared. I don't like, the flying part is scary, but then when I'm on there, I'm like, I'm out of control. God's will. I don't like it. But going toward that, when I went to Jamaica back in the 80s, and we had to walk out on the open. Man, I had a hat, and I'm trying to. I put cotton in my ears and here, and they're like, "What's wrong with you, Lance?" I'm looking down. Look up, Lance. No, I'm not looking up. No. I'm just guide me. I had to play like I was blind. I know I did. I got dark glasses ahead of time, and I closed my eyes. Please help me on the plane, and I closed my eyes.
Yeah, I don't,
No, but I feel for those guys.
Yeah, but a lot of us don't understand. Even to just go in the hospital sometimes, you just can go maybe if you have time sometimes and visit one of those hospital with one of the VA hospital with these guys in there and see what I'm talking about, because it's like, it's so heartbroken. It's really heartbroken, and see what these guys go through. Some of them no legs, no arms, and lost their eyesight and stuff. It's very hard. Trust me, it's a very hard thing to deal with, because as I can say it over, I see my son crying over and over again, and sometimes he say, why me, and I'm saying, just say, why not me? Because you never know what God have in store for you, and this happens already, and only God can take it away. Only Him can take it away. Because right now, all we have to do is keep praying and keep trusting in Him and pray for these families. And it's back to talking about our brothers and sisters. How I feel for them, and I just want the best for everyone. It's not everyone gonna make it and all this stuff, but a lot of us out there suffering, and sometimes we can help and we turn our head and we don't help. And as I say, in this country, it's really hard for a lot of us, because there's no support, and it's really hard. It's really, really hard.
I didn't know that, Nicole. Is that going to be on tonight? Is that something completed, or is that something in the works? That's very interesting. I would have loved to kind of go around there. Ayana Van Zant is doing a show on the survivors of the Pulse nightclub shooting.
Oh, yeah.
See, but it's funny because after she does that show, it'll go up on YouTube. But if one of us had something in the show that I did was demonetized, and I think it was blocked in a lot of countries, and I wasn't saying anything bad, but those controversial things that happen, they kind of stop you or keep you away from it, or want to call you a hate channel. On some things independently, and I'm going to put more things up on the actual site, LanceScurv.com. And when Mr. Scurv's site and everything is completed, I just want to throw it out there. Bang! Tonight, got to make a few runs. I'm a night bird. I'm probably going to get on tonight. But we'll have several live shows this weekend. And I do want to talk about the Donald Trump cutbacks. I don't know the exact, I don't need to even know, but this is something that we need to talk about, because no matter how the axe will drop, we have to be prepared as a people, because those of us who have done the right thing by ourselves, pretty much, where, those of us who are blessed to be working, gainfully employed, blessed to have the right state of mind to know how to save our money and to have vision and live below our means, we're the ones that's going to be taxed. And I don't mean like it's a bad thing, but right now we need to be spreading the knowledge about finance and how to take care. And there's going to be a lot of folks who are going to say, no, I got to go get my hair did. I got to get my nails done. That Korean man needs to get this money for this hair. This Korean person needs to get the money for the nails. I'm going to party. I'm going to go get some cheap clothes I get one time to throw away.
But the thing about it,
knowledge.
If you want to get your nail done, maybe more Black people should be opening nail salons.
That's
and
right.
Then we'll give our money to them, because I'd rather give my money to them. So I think that's what we should do. People should start doing stuff up themselves, and we support them. Support each other. So, it will all
in
work
whichever
us,
way you can support the person. It's not always money. It's tools and even your elbow grease sometimes. If they're opening up an establishment, tithe you Christians who are saying, oh, tithing, and we got tithe and bring that money to the church community. Take a time where you say, hey, let's bring a few kids or to this particular business and talk to the owner, a Black business in the neighborhood. Especially one that may have some sense, because we have a lot of Black business owners who are no different than some of these Asians that come and want to suck the money out the neighborhood. Trade under the title where, yes, I'm a Black business, but they know, because he could be just as bad. And looking at you like, oh, you dumb Black NIGGER, whatever. I'm getting the money from here, but I want nothing to do with you. When you find a good one, bring some kids to clean up or to do whatever, and have that man explain to them how this business works. And that way, every time they drive past that place, they have an understanding that's very much real to them. Mm-hmm. And this is what I find in many other communities. It's hands-on. Many of us who have jobs, we don't even share what we do with our kids to say, hey, I want to bring you in, if you can, bring you in one day and show you what I do. And maybe we'll start the interest in your mind to say, you know what? I may not want to work for a person, but I want to have my own like this. Look at all the internet cyber startups that are happening right now. And I just want to say that I'm going to be doing a blow-by-blow Andre Ward, Sergey Kovalev fight 2 weeks from now, actually 15 days from now. And it's going to be a blow-by-blow. It's going to be the usual, setup. We're going to have more people here. We're going to talk about the fight, and even after the fight. We're not going to show the fight, but we're going to talk about it as it happens so you don't have to buy it. And even if you buy that fight in here with us, and we're going to talk boxing all night. I'm going to set those links up, but we're doing something different with it. Charge $1, right? $1. It'll set up with PayPal, and we're not charging it to sit here, I'm gonna get rich over it, but with something that we're trying to do that's never been done, because nobody has that kind of money, but to sit around afterward and talk about it, have people call in for a couple of hours until we drop full thing. So we're gonna try that out. We're not trying to break the pocket. We're gonna set the link up and put it up. And like I said, I do this for free, but we're gonna do this and charge $1, and then maybe in doing that, and I can bring in some boxers, some trainers. We'll do every big fight. So that way it'll make it easier, and it won't be like, oh, please, or you black people don't support nobody. $1, right? Everything else is going to be the same usual. And we're going to talk. We're going to do interviews. Also, Carlene, I got the email. I'm sorry that I didn't get a chance to respond back directly, but I'm definitely going to reach out and we're going to talk. I got to slow down a little bit. I've been good, right? I've been getting better sleep, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because there was a time where I still look like a raccoon with these dark circles under the eyes, right? But there was a time when it was starting to affect my health. Seriously, starting to affect my health, going so hard and being a little bit imbalanced. I'm eating perfect food. I'm eating good food, but I was lacking on the sleep, which affected your hormones, and it had me wired most of the time, and I wasn't effective as much this way. Now I'm more grounded. I'm still getting a lot done, but I'm doing everything in balance. So don't think I'm fading off or anything. The best is yet to come. More effective and smart than just flail away and just throw your punches and not even know if it's going to land. But let's try to help people want it. That would be your best investment. You just don't help people who don't take an interest. You still have to be wise. Don't be a fool. Talk of the righteous stuff and say, yeah, I need help, and take it and run with it somewhere else where they're not supposed to go. There's a lot of spiritual vampires out here that will prey on your vision for the world around you and yourself and drain you down. And when you start to feel drained, understand that's very much a real thing. Your spirit never lies to you. You have to figure out, where's this drain coming from? Daytime, and you work at night, and you never draw power from your AC, but your bill is so high, somebody got a little orange plug somewhere on your property next door down the block sucking power from you. So you got to figure out where you can yank this bad boy out. And those very people who don't want to do things for themselves or are not self-motivating, she'll tell you, I can't sleep sometime because I'm like, there's a lot of things running all of these platforms take behind the scenes. There are a lot of guys that are out here doing it, but it's hard to keep up with Brother Scurv. I'll admit that part. It can really throw you off. There are times when weeks go by and I may not even go in the backyard. Back in the day. Now I make sure to touch that soil, get in the sun. As much if I fall a day or two behind on the blog or on the videos, because it's a work in progress. It's a legacy. Where I was speaking to my brother, but spirit, melanin brother, Rodney, and I have to give a praise to him. Extremely large amount of weight. His health was going down, down, down. Diabetes that he had so bad. And I know he doesn't mind me telling this, right? You all don't know his last name anyway, so don't go try to look on the Facebook, right? But it's gone. No medication. The guy is slim. And when he told me the other night, and I was supposed to go to bed early, we spoke for about 2 hours or something. I got to bed like 4 in. And it inspired me more so, because even though I'm healthy from the way I eat, I can be a little more healthy when I start exercising. But we can always improve. when you feel that you may not be making any progress, there's another road you can go up in making progress. Look, if you don't have, let's just play around. If you don't have the money to get that pretty dress, sisters, that you want, window shop. Window shopping is free. That way you get to know what it is and you'll take time knowing. So when you do have the money, you go straight to it. So research everything you want to do. Even if you can't do it or don't have the money to do certain things, never use that. And here's another gem that I want to drop on you from Brother Cosmo. I can't even read or say it, like I'll read it another time. But basically he says, it's very economical. It gives you what you ask for. It always says yes. It's up to you to ask what you want off of the menu of creation. So if you say, you know, I want to do so-and-so, but I don't have enough money. Then already, well, you don't have enough money, so you're giving praise to the fact. So it's going to give you what you ask for. I don't have the money now. Something that you're not asking for, ask for it. Now, when I say money, everybody's ears perk up, but whatever it may be, and then make yourself worthy of receiving that. It's not like you sit on your backside, where we gonna pray to the Lord. He gonna bless us with some education, but ain't nobody trying to read a book, right? You got to be in a process of striving for that. The devil is a liar. I done had 3 triple bypasses, 4 heart attacks, 3 strokes, but he's a liar. And pass the potato salad. Well, you're not trying to eat better. You have to cite the universe in a righteous way. You're rich already. You have to speak like you have it. When you're appreciative of what you have, it will give you more. Yes, we're all strapped. We want a little more money. But say it this way. Well, you know what? Needs are taken care of. You could be on a curb with 2 cents in your pocket. The universe will see that. God will see that. And then you'll have that answer come. Because you're already cultivating this spirit within you. Rich people don't talk about, oh, they trying to get more money. And it comes to them easy. It's a game. Let's get out of impoverished thinking and also acknowledge the things that we are rich in. Don't have friends, real friends, right? There's some people who don't have health. To appreciate, we are rich in so many ways, but we're looking at this TV, looking at the internet, peeking up on other people's Facebook pages and getting mad because they may have a material item and that may be all they have, or maybe they have the whole thing. Sunlight hitting you. Stuck in solitary confinement, and you come out after 60 days in the hole. You glad to have sunlight. Ooh, sunlight. You glad to wash with your backside stinking. You know. That have 5 letters in it that start with the letter P2. You know what I mean? Bad, did I? No, but we have to change our thinking. There's so much that's out there good for us. People will wonder a long stretch of prosperity. I'm not going to be afraid to use that word because a preacher used it and it scares most of us. I'm talking about prosperity. I'm a blue collar dude. I got to get up and work every day. She got to get up and work every day. So we're not saying like we're rolling in money. It's not about money. But while we are riding toward our goals, we enjoying it. And yes, we have times that I cry, you cry, I get upset, you get upset. We got to figure out how to make ends meet on this way, that way. But we keep it moving. Why? We keep striving. You know, hopelessness is a heck of a thing. And your oppressor is not going to come unless he has something for you to do to pay you minimum wage. He's not going to try to uplift you. They don't care about you.
They give you more work and slave you too.
That's right.
They don't care about you.
You get your behind home the best way you can. If you can't pay, well, you live on that side. Okay, no problem. I live on the good side of town. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how they think.
Help you know, everyone. And Nicole was saying that, you know, you can't help everyone because, you know, some people don't really, they don't care. So you can't just go out there and help everybody because some people don't really care. And
they
some
gotta
just want to use it. They just want to do stupid things.
Just for that one time, and they go around.
Yeah, and they go around, keep doing this.
They got to prove themselves worthy. They got to prove themselves worthy. Look, you know, and you're worthy. Another thing before we go, and I keep saying it before we go. Yeah. No, but people are going to try to make you feel guilty. Doing good or not doing for them. Well, I see you got so-and-so, and I see you got this, and I see you got that. You had to go through a do on a righteous level to get it. Now, we know there's a lot of folks out there doing stuff on an unrighteous level. We're not even talking about that. Because karma, you know, is not always a bad thing. Karma will reward you. But the karma will reward those people with what they put out to the universe. But, you know, the thing is that your hard-fought energy, your life force is precious. Manifested in money, you manifested in keeping your family happy, keeping them upbeat, and good. And we can feel that with each other. And so, you know, when a person's willing to get down and say, you know what, I see where I want that for me in my own way, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get there, right? And when you see that, you're like, come on, let me help you. You want to plant that seed. You don't have to beg anybody, but there's some who will make you feel guilty for where you stand. Exactly. And don't let them buggers try to make you feel guilty because of their lack of action. Because if they were interested, they would ask you how you got to where you are, right? But they damn sure want the reward. I can't work 3 jobs, but you got some money?
Some people just don't want to do it because guess what? I've been here since I was 21 and I've been working ever since.
And you got your first house when? 26.
Yeah, I don't, listen, it's like.
And you wasn't making much?
No, not
much. Tell them, you told them already, but you tell them. Back in the 80s.
Yeah, it was minimum wage I was making at the time.
How much?
But guess what? I saved.
How much? No, it makes it look better. It's the truth. How much?
No, I was at the time I was making about $4.50. It was like $4.50.
$4.50.
Yeah, it was minimum wage.
Ooh, I go to McDonald's get a 2 for $2.
No,
that means I get a drink and I ain't got nothing for the hour.
I just came here and I know you want to make ends meet. You have a family and all that.
But you didn't turn your nose up and say.
I was young, I was married and all that stuff. But you know, and you know, you want to you have your kids and stuff like that. At the time I had a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, and you know, and at the time I was moving in the house, my daughter was only two.
She should have got a time machine, went back and found me first.
And then when I was pregnant with my daughter, and at the time, which is the youngest one, and I said that, you know what, I don't want my kids to stay in an apartment because I want them to always have somewhere. I said it before in a show. I need them to have somewhere where they need to play, you know, somewhere with a not letting them out in an apartment complex and they're all over the place. You don't know where they are or what happened to your kids, and you're not able to watch them. And so I was here like 5 years, and I said I have to, you know, I have to have a home.
But you spoke that.
And it don't.
You spoke it. You spoke it.
Yeah, I said it, and I know.
And people were doubting you.
Yeah.
And you had a friend help you save.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, my friend. I used to say.
Call her by name. So
yeah, Rose Brown. She, you know, nice lady. I met her, and her husband and our kids were very young when I came here, and she's my sister. She's a Black American, but she's my sister, but from another mother. And I respect her.
She's my sister from another mister.
I really respect her. Nice lady and everything. And you know what? I opened an account at the time, and I put her name in my account. That's how I trust. I trusted her.
How many of y'all could do that?
I trusted her. She knows my account number, everything, and all that stuff. And I trust her. And she's the sweetest person ever. And I save up my money in SunTrust Bank. I never forget.
And you work extra.
Yeah, and I
extra jobs.
No, but at the time when I got the house, I wasn't working extra job.
Right.
You know, at the time after I moved in the house, I started driving. I got a car because I got a house first, then I got the car after.
Right.
Because you don't want to have a car payment and try to get a house at the same time, because a lot of times you don't want to give you that loan, you know, to get both. You know, you have a car payment. They don't want
debt to income ratio.
Yeah. So, you know, I got a house first, and I was kind of scared. People, I was really scared. And, you know, at that age, you know, some people, I was scared. I'm not
26.
I was scared to drive, but then I
straight from Jamaica.
I built up the courage, and it took me 2 weeks. I paid, you know, someone, and it took me 2 weeks. And the 2 weeks, they said, oh, if you could drive, I would let you steal your husband's car. I want to tell him go to hell, but then I just keep my mouth shut, and I went to
not this husband. That
yeah, my ex.
She upgraded.
So
she upgraded,
and I went to the car dealer, and I did get a car, and you know, and after that, me knowing the type of person that I am, I go and I get a part-time job a couple of days in the morning, and then, you know, I have my other job and whatever, because I want to make sure my car was paid for, and insurance, you know, all that stuff. You know, now you have a mortgage and all that stuff.
But you put it into motion.
You know, but you know, you want something, and you have to push forward to do it, and God had gave me that strength to do it, and I'm grateful to Him, because I talked to Him, and I'm telling you, He has been so great, you know, and awesome, and I'm grateful, and I just looked at myself, and I say, if I can do it, you know, anybody can.
Another thing,
you know, anybody else can. Another
thing,
you know,
like I was speaking to one of my brothers on the bus the other day. He is with oh God, I forgot what faction of Black consciousness he's with, right? But I met him on the 36 route when I was doing the 36 about a year ago. And find love that we have for each other in passing. And he brought up the conscious community, the so-called conscious community. I don't call names. You know these guys who are arguing over what happened back in Egypt and Kemet and this and that, and they're fighting and mad at each other and threatening, and the goons are, you know, all that stuff. And it makes us look foolish. We got to stop that. Somebody else will call it this. Someone else will say the universe. Let's put all that to the side. At least we believe in a supreme being. We're screwed up as Black people because we're sprinkled all over the place, right? That for a very long time. But let's put those things aside and let's come together as one people, right? Just one people. Because like I always say, when the oppressor comes to shoot us down, he doesn't have a checklist like, we didn't get enough Muslims today. Let's shoot 3 Muslims. Oh no, the Christians are cool. We got them already. You know what I mean? We got them under control. But let's get these other ones here, there, with us. We're already split up enough as it is. Collectively, we've got to do that. You know, I'm doing it on all different levels, but we got to push a little more, because the rate that we're getting killed off or knocked off mentally, meds to our kids that don't need it. They may have a bad diet, high sugar diet. They may be hungry, you know, the sugary stuff, and they're out their mind. Oh, here come the Ritalin. and the mama gets a little bit extra from the public assistance because now you've turned your kid into a junkie, to the substances. And sugar is like a drug. And I'm just kind of ranting, and we're going to wrap it up. But the FDA said if they knew then what they know now about sugar, they would classify it as a drug. Well, look in the hoods at the corner stores and the bodegas that are usually owned by somebody else, and you grab them cheese doodles, little kids running around, their fingers orange, and they wash their hands, are still orange. That's happening to them on the inside. Wow. Sugar this and sugar that. Did they get enough B vitamins that day? Refined white sugar, you need the presence of B vitamins. B vitamins don't really hold in your system anyway. They are water soluble, just like vitamin C. You need that to digest this white refined sugar that goes under so many different names. Knowing is that when it's finished off with OSE, I'm saying this for a reason. Sugar, and you don't have the B vitamins from a healthy diet in your system, it's going to leach it from your body, right? So now B vitamins are necessary for the production of energy in certain systems in your body, but now you leached it because you had something that tastes good, that was cheap, that ran them crazy, and now they have sucked out even more. How do you expect your kids to learn? And steady. So we're being attacked on a nutritional level. I hate to say it, look the way we do in the downtrodden neighborhoods. You don't have to look and feel that way. Other supermarkets, or stop spending at the so-called beauty supply store and get some good food, because true beauty is not a topical thing. Look, you got no makeup on. I'm not knocking my sisters wear makeup, right? But look up under her neck. Look at her face. She's lean. Skin, water, lean. You don't have to go get chopped up. Just drop the bad food.
No, but the thing about,
and I'm 54 years old, and you creeping up on a year behind me.
Funny.
So youth is something we cultivate. You know, just don't think, oh, I turned 35, man. You're downhill from there. I don't care. My best days are ahead of me. But like Muhammad Ali said, I know I'm still pretty.
You have to look at yourself and say you're beautiful. You are beautiful.
You have to speak that in.
And you have to, you feel it from within.
That's right. And you glow.
Because you are beautiful and you were made beautiful, and you have to look at yourself. And
don't call me beautiful. You can call me handsome.
About me and all the other ladies.
Because you know that they'll misconstrue it.
Okay.
She called him beautiful. What they do in their bedroom behind closed doors? He's wearing wigs and makeup? Is he cross-dressing? No.
Well, we are beautiful. We are
yes,
beautiful. We are made beautiful. And I know that I am beautiful. I don't need anybody to tell me that I am beautiful. I can look in the mirror in the morning and say I'm beautiful. And,
that's right.
And you have to look at yourself as guys. You look at yourself and say, I'm handsome. I was made handsome. And there's a reason for God to make me this way. You know?
but we speak these things in. So for our sisters who knowledge about the eating practices and you know, holistic healing and all of these good things are things that we are the masters of until we were disconnected from that place, following behind people who don't have a clue. They don't have a clue. These doctors don't have a clue. And so for the sisters and the brothers out here who may be a little overweight, I wasn't throwing off on you. Healing. But the same token, you got to speak it into existence. Look at yourself.
And it takes time.
It takes time, but indoctrinate, treat yourself precious.
Yeah.
Your heart and your liver, your kidneys, your pancreas, your lungs, your crotch sauce, whatever it may be, your foot, your elbow, you're beautiful. And strip down before you go to bed, and don't be afraid to look at yourself, even if you're not where you want to be.
But still
look at yourself,
still do it,
and say, okay, I'm beautiful under all of that. It's just going to take a little time for me to get there. But the minute you decide to commit to that new way of eating, and you're going to fall, and you're going to get back up. Give in. I need some McDonald's French fries or something. I'm at the point where I don't see it. I don't touch that stuff, right? But there was a time when I was a hog a couple years ago too, right? I used to call you up, sweetheart, I'm on the bus route. Bring me some extra, what's that, sweet and sour sauce, and bring me a root beer soda. Me, right? But I had to reconnect with myself, and it made big changes. So understand that no matter where we are physically, as long as you're alive, you are beautiful. Feel it, but you also have to go through the practices that will bring you into your full beauty, and it's not going to be overnight, but the joy of the process. The minute you commit, you're already there. You just have to go through the process of it, and you will get there.
Think about it. Even for anyone that is getting help from the government, like getting food stamps and stuff, that money you could buy good, nice food for you and your family. You know, to
Leon Black.
You know, I mean, come on.
Virtuous.
You buy nice vegetables, fresh vegetables and all that stuff.
I love you like a fresh vegetable.
If you want to eat meat, it's up to you, because I'm not here to preach to anyone about, but make sure you buy the best of stuff with that money.
But with the meat thing too, I want to say that Brother Cosmo had in his book that thing that with many of the older cultures, that if you do eat meat, let it be 10%, no more than 10%. Every 9 bites you take is vegetables and fruits and other things, but let it be a small amount and let it be something clean, not something out of these supermarkets shot up with steroids and prepared correctly. And it won't be such a stress on your body, because all the other vegetables and fruits will be cleaning you out.
Especially us ladies, with the chickens and all that stuff. If you're gonna heat it, you know, females, make sure it's something fresh, nothing with hormones and all that stuff. You know, fresh fruits and vegetables, the best thing to lean on, a lot of grains and all that stuff. And as I say, if you're gonna eat chicken, make sure it's fresh. Or if you're gonna eat a piece of fish, make sure it's wild, like wild salmon or saltwater.
Barbara fish. Jacobs.
You know,
I want you to call after we get off the we're up, you're up. And I didn't I say about Barbara the other night? Yes. So we didn't forget you. And I haven't been answering you as much on WhatsApp because the hours are off. I'll check. I'll say I'm going to answer her. So I might be on the bus or something like that. So that everybody also, the only number I have, regardless as to what on the websites and stuff, I'm still trying to get the numbers right because we got rid of all the other numbers that I have. 407-590-0755. I'm going to put that and lock that in. If you see it anywhere else on anything that is LanceScurv, any other number, please point it out to me so I can take it down and correct it because there are many people who have tried to reach out by calling the old number. They're like, man, you can afford a phone.
And
I'm like, yeah,
Barbara is in London, right?
Yes, she's in the UK.
No, it's late now too. Yeah. Over there, 5 hours ahead of us.
Exactly. No chills. What's up? And to all the people that I haven't acknowledged inside the room, Kametta, yes, everybody. I've been talking. We don't have our headphones on because whatever. This is going to be a quick one, but we've been talking for like about an hour and 15 minutes, right? Yeah, no, but that's the way it is when we're here. Just normally, this is the kind of stuff that we talk about. This is not a production. We started out one way. Look at the title. We talk about food now. We talk about this lack of gainful employment cause hopeless. But it's something to be touched on. It's something to be touched on.
Yeah, because I mean, a lot of us out there, though, we don't really know how to really feed our body to because our organs and stuff, we need to feed our body properly because for our liver, our kidney, our heart, and all that stuff, and make sure we're drinking a lot of fresh water, clean fresh water. Every day, a lot of water.
That's right.
At least, even if you can drink like 32 ounce, you know, whatever, make sure you're drinking a lot of water.
As soon as you pee, reach for more water.
You know, just keep drinking water all day from you get up off the bed until you go back to bed. Make sure you're taking in a lot of water. That's right. You know, keep your skin clean and fresh and, you know, feels good in the inside and out, you know.
And the other motto is eat life and don't consume death. A lot. For the meat eaters, eat and chop it up, freeze it up, send it out to the supermarket, right? You want things that have life, that still have life force in it. Dead meat does not have life force in it. If you do eat meat, right? The lions and the animals who have the teeth for it, they eat the meat live. Well, there's a little bit of life force in it. Some animals don't eat dead meat either.
Right.
We're forcing dead meat with a long digestive system.
They don't even look at it.
Right.
No, it's true.
That's right.
It's really true.
That's right.
Because it's nothing like, even now, like go in the backyard of the plum tree, you see the plums on the tree, they're so red and
you know what I believe? You see it hanging? This is what I'm going to start doing. I'm going to start eating it while it's hanging. I'm not going to pick it off. I'm going to eat it while it's hanging.
No, but you know, we usually just pick the mangoes off the tree and just eat everything, the skin and everything. We just
real Jamaican.
No, but it's true.
Real Jamaican.
We eat everything.
Look at the joy on her face while she says this.
And you just eat everything. We go and we just pick the tomatoes and we eat in the tomatoes. You know, because you don't spray no chemical on it nor nothing. You just pick the stuff out.
Well, you know why I laugh when you say stuff like that instead of real Jamaican? Because my father would tell me these stories. And I'm like, wow, the concrete jungle out here in New York City. I want to be down there.
And all that stuff. You know, fresh herbs and vegetables. That's the best thing because you digest it very well and it feels good. You're
not sitting on the toilet reading half the Sunday paper for 30 minutes.
It feels good in your body.
People get bugged out. I say, listen, I'll be back. I gotta go to run around to the restroom. Bing! And it's done. Pop! Because it comes right out of you.
No, but it's best while you're eating all these fruits and vegetables, put a lot of water. Yeah. A lot of water. Just keep drinking water, a lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables, a lot of grains. Make sure you have that. Even your kids, you have to make sure you're giving the kids all this stuff because
they're growing at such a fast rate. They're sucking this stuff in.
They're eating all these bad fast food, processed food, and all this stuff.
And the foundation you give them is very important.
So it's best.
Some people, I see them out there, and it kills me. They just feeding this artificial food to their kids to keep them from being hungry. That's it.
And it's not.
I'm hungry. Let's eat. No. I'm hungry. What is my body hungry for? Did I get enough protein today? Did I get enough carbohydrates today? Did I get enough essential fats today? Did I get enough vitamins and minerals? Did I stress myself to have to require certain vitamins and minerals in certain things? Is my food devalued? Who cooked my food? People who touch your food and cook it for you, an energy to that food. So if you go to a restaurant and that employee, that chef, is disgruntled with the person who owns the place, he's not feeling good, that's going to translate into you. It's not just about sexuality that merges demons to make you bipolar or crazy out your mind. We got to watch how we eat. And we eat any old thing. But the people who eat any old thing, guess what? They don't do it in public. So you got to eat private. You know, when you're around in restaurants, if the restaurant doesn't feel right, you need to get out of there or prepare or learn how they made it and do it at home the same way. When we go to these clubs, when we go to these restaurants, when we go to these malls, we're attracted. Let's pick a restaurant. We're attracted to that restaurant because of the atmosphere you can make. Their food don't come from another planet. It's right there. You can prepare it the same way. You watch and you learn. You go online.
It's not the right thing either, because it's
if it's bad,
some of the food that they made for example, the salmon. So, some restaurants you go, they don't do
for those
wild
who eat
salmon. For who eat salmon, is a lot of them that do the farm raised salmon. Instead of the wild salmon.
You got to be wild if you do that.
You have to make sure it's what you're eating. And sometimes people can tell you that this is what you're getting and it's not what you're getting. You have to be careful, because sometimes it's best for us to prepare our food ourselves. If we don't, sometimes ask, somebody will help you to learn how to do this. You have to try until you get better,
it's a process. It's not going to happen overnight.
And it's not going to just happen one day, but at least we have to try.
But when you push and try, it may live out of state that hasn't seen you in a while. And that's impossible because of Facebook, right? But they really haven't seen you in a while. And look, you lost so much weight. Or you're glowing. It's not just a matter of the losing weight.
It's about
that glow too.
Yeah, your skin looks different and all that stuff.
And on the flip side, you have to be a twig. If that's not your genetic makeup, weight comes off. A lot of our sisters are punishing themselves. A lot of sisters are punishing themselves because they may have a slightly higher level of even healthy body fat, which you are supposed to have ectomorphs, mesomorphs, and endomorphs. Those are the three basic body types, right? The endomorph is the one that has the thicker bones and a slower metabolism, wider. They can't eat the same things that an ectomorph can eat. The ectomorph is the one who is high strung, can eat everything in the fridge and not ever get fat. And slim by nature, hard to put on body fat. It's just, like a mosquito, hyper, No, I know you sleep. You're an endomorph, ectomorph. Now, one more thing. You got the mesomorph. They're in the middle. Now, those are identified as the three basic body types, but it's one scale of the different categories, right? So you got to figure yourself out with what works best for you. So says works for them as far as their metabolism or their musculature, it may not work that way for you, but we all operate on certain basic principles. We work with the basics, and then when we learn it, it's like balancing on a bike or a unicycle, right? And once we get that rhythm, we know our bodies. Thank God I know my body from many decades ago when I used to do bodybuilding, so I can play around with my food and get away with it sometime. get out of here. I don't want to go, y'all. You know, when I start talking, we're doing them 8-hour jammies.
Just for the address, somebody was saying about the salmon. Stop eating salmon because salmon gives them headache. Because it's the same thing with the shrimp. You know, it gives me a migraine. So, you know, it depends what you're eating and where it comes from and all that stuff. But you know, if it's something that causing you some problem, maybe you should leave it alone, you know. Yeah, but you have to really take care of your body and make sure you're eating right, as I said, and just, you know, live life your way and just, you know, take care of yourself. And
that's right. That's right.
And we hope you have a wonderful weekend and be blessed. Peace, people. Thank you.
All right, y'all. We're gonna head on out. We will be back. It's not like we have to come cross town and ask some old Jew man, please could you give me the keys to open the door for the studio? This is us. This is in the house. I get in the middle of the night to take a leak and I come in here and do a show. So we got some things we got to do right now, and then we're gonna come on back. I'll be tired later on, but I probably will pop on in. Maybe I'll pop on in later on and we'll continue. But we will this weekend talk about the whole Donald Trump thing with cutting back on public assistance. And no matter how that goes or how the actual story goes, because I didn't go into the details of it, the effects of it and what we need to do. And we will open up the lines to talk and have everybody contribute. The live shows are here, but we've been working hard behind the scenes and to make things better, to make our life better, to make us better, to be servants of the Most High, because that's really what we are, what we take our joy from being. There's no complaints here, no matter what happens out in the world. We're servants, and we want to just help to make the world better. But we also have to keep ourselves healthy and better and not let ourselves run down. I learned that. And this journey, it's a short one on this level, but we have a whole eternity ahead of us. And it's a wonderful thing. So download the app of the LanceScurv. I'm tired. I didn't get on my sleep. Download the app, the LanceScurv app at the Google Play Store, the Apple Store, and the Amazon Store. I don't know how that's going to sound. Hit me up anytime. Text preferred, but you can call 407-590-0755. And the email address is scurvmedia@gmail.com. SCURVIA@gmail.com. After the V, there is no E. People always tack it. My mail comes so jacked up because they always jack up my name anyway. So I'm used to that. You want to say something? Okay.
I'm good.
See, she talks a whole lot too. Don't think she's just always quiet in the garden. We're going to head on out of here, y'all. We want to hear the feedback. And Barbara, if you can call.
We love you, and you know, you always say nice things, and we appreciate everyone, you know.
And Nicole and Barbara and then Leon and everybody. I'm not even going to scroll up, you know. But we got to head out of here, and I'm going to come back, and like I said, everything is going to get better, and I'm open for the suggestions. One more thing, I got an email from a young lady who is doing a documentary, organ theft, a straight up legit documentary. And if you're not in the LanceScurv Talk Show group room on Facebook, please make sure to join. And I'm going to be dropping a lot of things there. Also, go to the LanceScurv on Facebook, facebook.com/LanceScurv. That's the fan page. I'm not saying I'm somebody that deserves to have fans. That's what they call it, right? So, and the oppressor's like, oh, he has fans. No, it's people I serve. I'm a servant, y'all. But like the page and understand we'll be dropping a lot of stuff on there too.
Beautiful people.
Yes. Anyway, we're going to head out. We love you. And hit us up and we'll be back. We got a whole long weekend and I'm going to be churning out some crazy behind videos too. We're going to have some fun. We're going to take the camera to the street. All right. Peace out, y'all.